All right, good morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. What's today's topic? So we're going to continue with basic tools that I use in welding and what I started out with. And they don't have to be costly. You don't have to go buy the most high-end brand of things. I mean, in the last video we talked about MIG pliers and regular pliers, and you can get them out at Harbor Freight and they stand up to a lot of abuse and nothing wrong with them, and there's a cost savings there, especially with that 20% coupon. Now, today, let's just get right to it. We're going to talk about hammers. So somebody said, hey, I saw how you were shaping some of the sheet metal and some of the things that you do, and so, do you always have to heat it up? No. When I have to heat it up, I have an oxyacetylene torch, and I heat it up, especially if it's thick steel. But in a lot of cases, if you're talking about, sheet metal and forming them for some artistic project, or you saw me make the little cowboy hats for the little cowboys that have the wine bottle holders and all these things in my past video. No, I didn't. I mean, what I did is I went out to Harbor Freight and I bought ball peen hammers right here. This is really good with the round part. If you have it over like a piece of round steel, that sheet metal, and you're hitting it, I mean, you can create the curvature. Or in my past video, I've shown you some bending jigs. Let me show you one. Hang on just a sec. Okay, so let's sidetrack for a second so that you understand. I got the ball peen hammer from out there for shaping. I got the handheld sledgehammers. I got two of them. And these are not expensive tools. I mean, so you can buy these out at Harbor Freight. And how much bending are you going to do? Well, that depends. Here's a jig that I made just out of some pipe steel, ABS kind of stuff you can get, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. Small sections of them that are threaded, cut the threads off or don't, whatever you want to do. And this is a piece of just corrugated steel. Got it out at the steel supplier. I think it cost me 50 cents. Okay, so then I got some pieces of pipe and I welded them on here like this. But then on the bottom, from that same scrap pile out at the metal supplier, they just gave me, a fairly long piece of this rectangular steel. So I cut off a piece, I welded it to the bottom. That way, in one of these vices, I can put this in here like this, tighten the vise, and then if it's cold rolled or hot rolled steel, depends on what you're working with. Let's just say cold rolled for the heck of it for a minute. And as long as it's not too thick, I can put it in here and I can start to bend it by hand. But if I'm going to make a real kind of a tight curve here, you might need a little bit more force. And that's where these hammers come in handy. And they're inexpensive. Now this set I got out at Harbor Freight, which I use the discount coupon, of course, like everybody does. But I also have a couple of more that I bought off Amazon, and I'll leave you the link for those below. But the point is, you might get it a little bit cheaper, and I'm an intermittent DIY home hobbyist, having fun, kind of a setup in my garage. So I didn't need anything super expensive. And these tools, just like the MIG pliers and the pliers in the previous video I showed you, now you're starting to put together things for your welding projects, let's say. All right, so what you want to do is start to accumulate these things, every payday, every other payday, whatever you want to do, or hey, they're running a sale on them, or hey, you can get that 20% off. And I'll leave you a link below. I'll see if the other set of hammers I got is still on sale at Amazon, but either way, I'll leave you the link in the description below. So this is the second video on, we'll call it welding, basics. And what are some of the basic tools? Well, these. Now, I made these. These are like a set of ears for like a project that I never finished, okay? And so what I did at first is I just cut this out with an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, kind of like this elongated shape. Then I took a piece of pipe, and I put it in the vise, and I turned it around and I put this over it, and I just started tapping on it until I got it with this curvature. And I did it again, so I created the two ears. And I can always cut these down and make the ears shorter. I made them longer on purpose because I didn't know, when I was completing the project. It was one of those piston min projects that I was playing around with. I was going to put ears on him. I could always cut these down. I mean, just with an angle, with a 4.5-inch angle grinder, cutoff wheel, or whatever you want to use. So I made them long on purpose, but that's one way you can bend them. You can just put it over like a piece of steel like this, like in a vise, and you can start hammering it around. You can heat it up too, which is going to make the process, of course, a lot easier. But just talking about basic tools right now. So those are my thoughts on this, and in my past video, go back and look, I showed you how to make several different kinds of jigs like this that can be used in a multitude of ways to create different scrolls or different bends. And it's just a matter of, go look at the videos. You could do the same thing out of scrap steel. You don't need to go buy these kind of things. You can make them yourself. So always, follow along with me. I'll always show you if there's something that you can make that's not hard. And man, you'll really enjoy the ease of how things work out in terms of your cost savings. Go spend your money on better tools or something. All right, so I'm the Home Handyman, and I hope you click subscribe. I hope you keep following me. Something better in terms of deals on these hammers, drop it in the link below. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video, and we will keep doing small, short videos on different basic tools, that you can buy and you can use at home in your welding projects too. See you folks on the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.